What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos as well. If they donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, you can go to our Cash App, BJ Matthews, $ BJ Matthews. I will put the pinned comment where y'all can show y'all love by sending your love to the podcast. So let's get it popping. All right, man. Back with another show for y'all today, man. Got some time to chop it up with y'all. Not too long of a video. As y'all know, man, this channel that I have right now is an informational channel. I love to entertain. I love to, crack jokes, laugh, get a mixture of different, types of, vibes on the show. But I like to pour out a lot of information because y'all do know, or the people who don't know, who are just new to the channel, I play basketball, overseas, semi-professional, college, high school. I played against certain NBA players. I've had players on my podcast who's talked basketball. So basketball's been my life since I was a 4-year-old kid. So I've been playing basketball, over 20 years. So it's in my blood. So I can break it down 3 different ways. I got 3 different hats, right? I can break it down as a analyst, as like a person that, just dictates the game and just breaks down the game for y'all in simplest form. I can break it down as a fan, right? As a fan, a person who can cheer for a certain team. I know my team is the Clippers. So I could definitely tell y'all about the team and the history. But I can tell you about pretty much almost all the teams because I just study this game so much. But as far as a fan's point of view, the Clippers are my team. So I can tell you about what the Clippers are. And I can bring it out as a player because I played at a high level. And I know what it's like not to just be behind a television, behind a computer screen, but what it's like to be on the actual court. So I try to bring my best knowledge to y'all as much as I can. But I'll never be the type of person to use me playing ball as a way to shun somebody else by saying, oh, you didn't play, so you can't talk about basketball. That's not me. So I welcome all opinions onto my show, but I want to talk to y'all about what I see with the Western Conference, right? The Western Conference, as y'all know, is just pretty much wide open this year. This is probably the one time I can remember where the West has been this stacked on top of each other, which is good in a way because it makes the NBA more competitive and it makes it more interesting when it comes to, the playoffs. This is going to be a crazy playoffs this season. Right? Because the top seed, the Nuggets, are like 10 games ahead of like the last seed in the Western Conference, which is the 10th seed. And that means that it's more competitive and teams are more evenly matched. See, people think because the West is so up and down, there's no really dominant team, that it's because the West is weak. It's not that the West is weak. It's the fact that everybody is back healthy and everybody just kind of beating up on each other. So I kind of want to give y'all information about why teams are just having problems with certain teams. And I know based off the personnel, the coaching, and their playing style, why these teams struggle. So I want to get into that, all the top 10, 8 to 10 teams that's probably in the playoffs right now today as we speak. So let's get it going. All right, so I'm just going to kind of go through like the 10 teams. I'm going to make it very brief. I'm not going to be long-winded, but I want to kind of give y'all some information because I have fans all on my stream from different teams. Some people are Laker fans, some people are Clipper fans, some people are Cleveland Cavaliers fans, some people are Phoenix Suns fans, or it doesn't matter what team you're root for, Golden State Warrior fans. I feel like I can give y'all a real insight of why certain teams struggle with others and what ways y'all can actually improve. So I'm just going to go to the top 10 teams in the Western Conference. You got the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, the Kings, the Pelicans, the Clippers, the Mavericks. Who else you got? You got the Timberwolves, you got the Phoenix Suns, you got the Golden State Warriors, and I want to say the Lakers. If they're not 11, I think they're 12. But those are the top teams right now in the Western Conference. The last couple teams, like the Blazers, the Spurs, and the Rockets, I'm not really too concerned because I don't feel like they're gonna make the playoffs. But I'm gonna talk to y'all about the main team. So the Denver Nuggets are the best team in the Western Conference right now because they have the most consistency, but they do have a kryptonite. Their kryptonite is the Warriors and the Lakers. Now, the Warriors is because of what Jokic brings to the Nuggets. Draymond Green takes away. If you can cut off Jokic, then you can kind of cut the snake off the head off the snake. I'm sorry, the head off the snake. If you can kind of contain Jokic, then you can beat the Denver Nuggets. And that's what the Warriors are able to do with Draymond Green. And the Lakers, with all that size they have with AD, Thomas Bryant, especially AD, they can give Jokic problems. So now it looks like basically, because now it looks like basically when you cut Jokic off, that puts more pressure on Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon to go off. So once you get Jokic out of his game, then you can beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series. People think the Nuggets are unbeatable. That's just not true. Everybody can be beat. It just depends on your playing style. Basketball is like fighting. Styles make fights. Matchups make basketball games. That's how it goes. So for the Nuggets, or for the people that want to see how y'all beat the Nuggets, is basically by, attacking Jokic. The Grizzlies, they have a kryptonite. Their kryptonite is the Golden State Warriors. But I also need to see what they're like against some of the top teams, like the other teams that they may have to face, because we see them beat the Lakers beat them, and I feel like the Nuggets are another team. So the Warriors and the Nuggets are the Grizzlies' kryptonite. Because listen, they don't have the Grizzlies are an immature team. They're an exciting team, but they're immature and they're not even keeled. You're not going to win a championship when you're a team that's always jumping around when you score a bucket or something like that. It's not going to happen. You're a regular season team having fun, but you're not going to win a championship playing like that. I think the Warriors, they're talking, the Grizzlies talking, have gotten their way when they face the Warriors. I think the Warriors have it out for them. And I think the Nuggets, again, just with Jokic, they don't have no guy to really deal with Jokic in the paint. The Grizzlies are top 5 defense in the league, but they have no big interior presence outside of Steven Adams, who is not very good on the defensive end. He's a good rebounder, but he's not a great defender. He's not a great choice to guard Jokic, so that's where they're going to be vulnerable at. So those are the two teams that's going to give the Grizzlies problem. The Sacramento Kings are the interesting team I want to talk to y'all about real quick. I hope y'all still with me. They're arguably the best team. They're arguably the best team, the best starting 5 in the Western Conference. That's the Sacramento Kings. They have a point guard, De'Aaron Fox, who's elite. They have Domantas Sabonis, who's skilled and that's a center. They have a shooter in Kevin Huerter. They have a mid-range shooter in Harrison Barnes, and they have a slasher in Keegan Murray, who can also shoot. So they have all the pieces to be a top 5 team, a team in the playoffs to give some noise. And they have a great coach in Mike Brown. The problem with the Kings is going to be, the only question I have is are they going to go to a second gear come playoff time? Because you all know the playoffs is different from the regular season. And the Kings, it's going to be different how it's going to be in the playoffs and how when teams actually game plan. But they have the personnel to beat anybody. I'm just kind of concerned with their experience. The Pelicans, another great team, a dark horse of the Western Conference, a team that I felt like was going to make a lot of noise based off of last year. We have to see basically how they look as a starting 5. I feel like they have everything except great guard play. Outside of CJ McCollum, they don't really have any guards that can really score the ball. They have athleticism, they have wings, they have interior presence with Zion and Valanciunas and Larry Nance, but they don't really have any great guard play who can score the ball at a high clip. That's gonna, be a problem in the playoffs when they face all these top teams, right? So, and they have a players coach in Willie Green, but the Pelicans to me they're a team that they can make some noise and get to the conference finals. I just want to see what they're like as far as that guard position when CJ's not in the game. You got the Clippers, my team, of course. I'm going to be honest with y'all. The team that gives us the most problems is the Nuggets. And also I wanted to make the Pelicans, their kryptonite is the Nuggets and the Grizzlies for whatever reason. But our kryptonite is the Nuggets because of, again, we don't have no real big interior presence. We have everything else. I feel like we have the deepest roster in the NBA from top to bottom, but we do not have great interior presence to go up against Jokic. And that's what exploits us every single time. So the way we can beat the Nuggets is we have to be able to use our 3D wings to help out on Jokic. Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, like all those guys have to be a help in defending Jokic and rotating. Right? So that's our biggest problem is the Nuggets. Then we go to the 6th seed. I hope y'all still around, man. I'm just trying to give y'all some information. The 6th seed, you got the Mavericks. who really their kryptonite is us. It's the Clippers, man. Like, it's because of the 3D wings that we have. We give them trouble with Luka every time. We don't have that issue, you know, when it comes to, you know, a guy like Luka Doncic, because we have so many long wings to throw at him. And we also have Kawhi Leonard, who I feel like when he steps on the court against Luka, just dominates both ways of the ball. So, you know, that's what the Mavericks, they don't have enough offense to really compete. They have Luka Doncic, which is crazy because people say get Luka some help. I don't feel like Luka can play with another star because of his playing style won't allow it. Very similar to James Harden. He can't really play with stars. He's better off with role players. So what they're trying to do in Dallas is build a bunch of defenders to help him out because Luka's not a great defender and let him score all the points, which is not going to win you a championship. It's going to only get you so far, right? You got the Phoenix Suns, who right now, of course, are not the best, are not the most team has together, but I'm gonna still wait on the Suns to see what happens with them. Their kryptonite is ironically the Mavericks because they have nobody to guard Luka, and I feel like Luka has a psychological hold for what he did to them last season. But the Suns, they're just not together as a team. They're just out there playing, right? So I feel like they're gonna get it together because they were a top seed before Booker went down and all that stuff. But I think the age with Chris Paul and things of that nature have, you know, they've reached their ceiling. Let's just say that. Got two more teams. We got three more teams: the Utah Jazz, the Golden State Warriors, and the Lakers. So Utah, listen, this is how I feel about Utah. They're number 8 right now. They are a team that's always around, like a playoff team, but they're never a championship team. I feel like they're content with that. They're a team that I call very conservative, right? They don't really have the mindset to go for a championship. They're going to always be in the mix. They're going to always be a playoff team, but you're never going to see them be a championship team. Right now, they don't have a real star. Lauri Markkanen is their closest one to it. He's up for probably an all-star appearance, but in the playoffs, you need to have a superstar to take you over the hump because you're going to go up against other superstars. And Utah don't have. They have a bunch of good players: Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, you know, Colin Sexton, Kelly Olynyk, and they got them around Lauri Markkanen, but they don't really have a real star. Donovan Mitchell was their main star, and they let him go to Cleveland, which he's balling out right now. Then you got the Warriors, who are the defending champions. Of course, you're going to give them the respect, but I think the Warriors have digressed, and I don't feel like it's just something that's just going to get turned on and switch in the playoffs. People think, oh, the Warriors are going to turn on. I don't feel like that's going to be the case this year because people got to remember the Warriors lost some key players this offseason. They lost Gary Payton II, and they lost Otto Porter. What GP brought to the Warriors was defense and gave a chance for Steph Curry to focus more on offense. If you look at their defense right now, it's digressed from last season. And of course, if you could talk about, you know, Draymond Green, that situation that's kind of, you know, made the Warriors go down, and they just don't have the firepower to compete with these other teams, right? You know, their kryptonite, surprisingly to me, is the Phoenix Suns. Now, people may say the Suns are frauds. That might be true, but again, like I told y'all, styles make fights. The Suns are able to compete with the Warriors offensively. They can score with them. So if they can score with the Warriors, what does the Warriors have left to, you know what I'm saying, give the Suns? Y'all see they've been beating the Suns this season for a reason, right? Because of their offense. They beat the Suns without Devin Booker and I think Chris Paul. So I feel like the Warriors are not going to be this team going to be like turn a switch on in the playoffs. I feel like they're playing against better competition now. Everybody's healthy, but we'll see. And then you got the Lakers, who we just saw last night to lose to the Clippers. That's easily their kryptonite. They lost 10 straight games to the Clippers, and it's for good reason. The same reason why Luka has trouble with the Clippers is the same reason why the Lakers have trouble with the Clippers. Too much wing depth. Now, I give the Lakers credit as far as them playing hard and Coach Darvin Ham getting them to play hard, but if you don't have a lot of wings, or if you don't have the wing depth, you're going to have problems with the Clippers because they're going to use their guys to, you know what I'm saying, play well. And it seems like every single game it's a problem for the Lakers against the Clippers, and somebody seems to go off, whether it be Kawhi, Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann last night, Luke Kennard in the past, Marcus Morris. Like, these guys just go off on the Lakers every single time, and it's because of their wing depth. People say the Lakers are just not a good team. Well, how do you beat the Denver Nuggets twice? How do you beat the Memphis Grizzlies and the Sacramento Kings, who are a top 3 seed in the West? How do you do that if you're so trash? It's because of the game style that the Clippers have. The Lakers just can't figure it out, and they don't have the personnel to figure it out. But I know there's a lot of different, information I gave y'all, man, but please steady it, man, because I'm trying to give y'all wisdom for y'all teams, man, to help y'all out. And subscribe to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. I love y'all. Pull up, see, pull up, share, pull out. Peace. I like swim.